Hello, hello. Welcome to the live stream tonight. So, I'm here. Kind of last minute, decided to do this stream because I watched the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives Season 3 reunion, and I just had some thoughts, I made a video kind of about this season, more so the behind the scenes of it and the approach of production, and just kind of like comparing and contrasting how Mormon Wives and Hulu approaches the show compared to Bravo, which is kind of like the king with this type of reality TV. I just found a lot of, interesting things about just comparing the two approaches. And I think today I want to talk about the reunion. I'll get into storylines and drama too, because I didn't talk about that in the first video, and I felt a little bad because normally I do commentary about, what happens on a show instead of the bigger picture of like the production of it. But I will also be doing some comparing and contrasting here, because in my video talking about the full season, I feel like Bravo is lagging far behind Mormon Wives, but in the reunion, Bravo has reunions so figured out and so well done. So it's kind of like the opposite for reunions, because the Mormon Wives reunion was just not it, and it was not it season 2 either. And so it's just kind of like, what is going wrong here? I want to unpack that. They've tried out different hosts. And yeah, so welcome to the stream. And I'm just jumping right in, but I also want this to be like a video for people to watch later if they can't make it live. Hello, Lady Bell in the chat, and anyone else watching live. You're here. You can give input as well. I usually just do live streams for Love is Blind, so I don't know that people will show up to this one, but it's always nice to get y'all's opinions too as we go along. So welcome to the Miscellaneous channel, where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Zeleny. I typically cover TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things on this channel, so subscribe if that's your vibe. Yay, we rolled the intro. Please subscribe. I'm very close to 5,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone for me, and it's also like my 5-year anniversary, kind of like around New Year's time is where I count where I started this channel the way it is today, like really committing to it. So it's been about 5 years, so like 5,000 for 5 years. I'm really excited to be able to like hit that milestone, hopefully by my 5-year birthday. But yeah, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Hopefully y'all have had time to watch the reunion. If you didn't, it's fine. You didn't really miss anything. I don't know. They do not have reunions figured out for this show. And also, like, I thought about making a video because I feel like I could reach more people with a regular video, but I was like, after today, is anyone gonna care about the Mormon Wives reunion? I feel like already, do people care? I'm doubtful. So that's why I just decided to jump on here, and I'm like, let's just talk about it. Okay, let me just start with the hosting. The hosting was disappointing. I was very much excited for Stassi to try her hand at hosting. She hosted the Vanderpump Villa season 2 reunion last summer or whatever, and I don't know, Vanderpump Villa is just so horrible that like I couldn't tell if she was good or not, because that cast is like very insufferable. They're very like cloud chasey, and it's just like already just not an interesting show, so I wasn't like interested in the reunion. She didn't do like particularly bad or particularly good. But I was excited for this one because it's a show that actually has a lot going on, a lot of drama, a lot to hash out. And last year, it was Nick Viall from the Viall Files, Bachelor universe. Excuse me, I'm burping. And he did really bad because he was really biased, and he was like really hard on Whitney. Like, clearly he had beef with her, and really nice to other of the women. And he was also kind of like really pushing for Dakota and Taylor to get back together. And it's like, you're not right in the head if you're pushing for that, like, no matter who you are. So that was a big flop last year, or not even last year, it was this year, like in the spring when season 2 came out. And so that's why I was like, okay, Stassi's going to be great because she has been through it before, has been through countless reunions on like a really great reality show. She is a big personality. She's funny. All these things. Like, in Vanderpump Rules, you know, she's a controversial figure and character, but like, she's a mean girl and she's been ignorant, has had, you know, controversies with racism and stuff, but like, she, at least I know she's good on TV. She's entertaining, she's funny, and she's kind of at that point in her career where she's like pivoting to other stuff. And so I don't know, I was hopeful it would be good. Also, she's a woman. I felt like she wouldn't have the problem that Nick Viall had, where he was so like biased and stuff. And Nick Viall also like had all these girls on his podcast and like has a rapport with them in different ways. So he felt like he was too much of a peer. He was too close to the situation, too friendly with some of them, and he couldn't like move past that. And Stassi is like a lot more removed. So I was like, okay, she's been through it before. She can do it. But season 3 reunion was not good either. So like, what is going on? And I think it's down to the production. They're the ones that are orchestrating these hosts and probably the questions they ask and the format of the reunion. So now I guess I don't blame Nick Viall or Stassi as much, because it's just kind of like, this is their approach. And I talked about in my previous video that like, for Mormon Wives, the producers mostly come from the world of the Kardashians. And I don't believe the Kardashians have reunions. So like, I think they're just less experienced with that. And they are following kind of the Bravo model. But they're missing Bravo's ultimate weapon, which is Andy Cohen, who seems to be the only reality TV host that is worth a damn in our entertainment landscape right now. Like, literally, can no one else do Andy Cohen's job? It seems like no. I haven't found one. Not the Lachey's, not Stassi, Nick Viall, like whoever. Like, nobody's doing it like Andy Cohen. And he's a controversial figure as well. Like, he's very polarizing, but like, as far as reunions go, he is great at hosting them. And I think, so I figured out some reasons why, probably because I've been doing a lot of reading about reality TV history. I've mentioned that. And I've read a lot of books that talk about Andy Cohen's origins. Like, I read this book. They're mostly like history books about the Real Housewives. And so I read this one. I listened to it. It's kind of like a brief history of the Housewives. And then I read another book that was like a full history of all reality TV. And then this one I'm reading, I'm not far at all. Literally right there. But this little part covered Andy Cohen's origin. He started out as a producer on reality TV. And like a field producer. So he was behind the scenes in the crew. And I think that's like the first thing that is like unique about him. He didn't start out as like on-screen talent. And he was a big fan of soap operas. Like all of these books mention that Andy Cohen was obsessed with soap operas, and that is what intrigued him enough to like go into reality TV and the soap opera style reality TV, which was The Housewives, was the first of that, of Orange County specifically. And so when he was working as a producer on Orange County, he got friendly with the Housewives, but like in a crew way, like in a producer way, like had a good rapport. And he also started making like a blog online that was about like behind the scenes tea about these productions, like the first few Real Housewives, and just like behind the scenes stuff. And that was kind of like an extracurricular thing he was doing. But then Bravo was like, keep doing that and keep like, you know, adding to our website. And then eventually they asked him to like try hosting a reunion, the first reunion. And the rest is history, straight up. So that's kind of the origin of Andy Cohen. And what I found very interesting about, the mic. What I found, let me turn down the mic a little bit. Getting too excited. Excuse the typing. Okay. What sticks out to me about Andy Cohen is that he is a fangirl, like through and through, from the very beginning. And I think that's what it's missing from reality TV hosts now, because like now it's just a job. It's literally just a job to people to be like the hosts of a show or of a reunion, and it's not like Andy Cohen just fell into it very organically, and he's obsessed with soap operas. Like, I feel like, because Andy Cohen is friends with the Housewives and some of the cast members of his shows, but I feel like Andy Cohen loves them the way someone would love their Sims or like their Barbies, and not like people or like friends. I don't know. It's just like a vibe, but like he's a fan first and foremost of the show, of the genre, of soap opera, of just this kind of storytelling. And I think that's just what's missing. And Nick Viall and Stassi just kind of like view it as a job, as a gig, as a way to get more exposure, advance their career, whatever the heck. But like Andy Cohen is just a fan, and he started as a fan. And I think that was the big aha for me today watching the reunion, just that like you need a fan in that chair to ask real questions, to like be curious about the drama, to follow up on things, because it's not working. They just look at it as a job. And I feel like Nick was too biased. He was too much of a peer, too much of a friend to some of the cast, and then hated on, you know, Whitney, who like didn't go on his podcast or whatever. And then like Stassi was the opposite extreme. She was too removed and just not that invested in the show. Like, she gives me the vibe that she watches the show, but like very casual and is just like whatever, just having fun watching it, but like doesn't care to know the why behind things or to dig, I don't know, doesn't remember things the way Andy Cohen does. And also, I thought Stassi's experience on reality TV would help this situation because she's been at so many reunions, but it kind of like, it didn't. I feel like she was too empathetic and maybe being like protective over them and just didn't care to like, or like she probably didn't like being grilled at reunions, and so she's felt too much in their shoes before, and I feel like she didn't want to like antagonize them or like, because anytime like anything would get heated, she would just be like, we're not going to solve this, let's move on, and stuff like that. And it's just like, that's not what Andy Cohen or a good host would do. So yeah, I just think she was too empathetic. Like, she'd been through it too much that it just made her protective. I think she's protective over these women. She's shown on social media she loves them, and she shows them a lot of love. So I think it's just she's not gonna be one to be digging, and poking the soft spots, which Andy Cohen does all the time. So I don't know. That's my epiphany, that Andy Cohen's the only good reality TV host. And if we want any good other hosts, like a new generation, because Andy Cohen's getting old, we need some new talent. I think they need to look to either producers that have potential for on-camera talent, which Andy Cohen did. He was behind the camera before. Or maybe I don't know, these commentators, the big commentators and podcasts, I think of Bravo, the Watch What Crappens people, people like that I don't watch a lot of them because I make content like that, and it's just I want to escape when I watch other content. But the people that are in media and journalism but are obsessed with the show, that are covering it every episode on a podcast, and Nick Viall is kind of in that realm, but he comes from reality TV as well, and I feel like his podcast is more about getting a paycheck, and he just has easy access to all these reality TV people. But I don't know how much of a fan he is of the genre, of the drama that happens on it. I don't know, because I don't watch him. Maybe he does have some intrigue in what happens to these people, but to me, based on the reunion, it felt like he was just doing a job. He wasn't curious, and you have to be an unbiased kind of curious, more journalistic and more a producer would think. So that's my thought on Andy Cohen, and we just need a new one. And I think the commentary community online is the place, but it's hard because a lot of people that are just YouTubers or podcasters, they don't have the professionalism or the media training that someone already in show business has, a Stassi or a Nick Viall. So it's kind of you have to find that right person that has the blend of both the professionalism and experience, and just being a true fan, not just a watcher for funsies, you watch reality TV to unwind. No, someone that analyzes it and theorizes it, and I don't know, it's different. But maybe let me know, who are y'all's commentators that you think would make good hosts or have the professionalism to pull it off, because it's hard to find the right person. It feels so far they've just tried people that have followings already and have reality TV background, but not hosting and producing backgrounds, which is what's missing. And they're just not fans. It's just, back in Andy Cohen's day, reality TV was just not taken seriously. It wasn't a real job. I mean, it was, but it was kind of a shameful job. Not I don't know, from everything I see from the early days of reality TV, it was just kind of everyone else in the industry was y'all are stupid working on reality TV. They were shut out by the unions. So they were just in it for the love of the game. And nowadays it's just more of a legitimate profession and job. And the downside is everyone just looks at it as a job, and the hosts are not cutting it for reunions. So on top of the hosting, which they could not figure out, there were also some, sorry, I went high there. There were also some weird production choices in general, and this could have been the hosting and the producing, I don't know, but for Stassi's reunion, it felt every segment and transition had some ADR to it, which was it's audio where they put in the audio later. And every movie and every TV show does this. Like, if like the sound quality is bad for a sentence or a line, or they didn't like say the line right or whatever, they'll bring in the actor or the host later and make them read the sentence and then splice it in at the end, like for the final product. And the idea is to make it very seamless, to not like tell the difference when it's happening. But there's kind of a wide spectrum of like how it can sound, and if it's really bad, you can most definitely tell. Like, back in the day, America's Next Top Model notoriously had the worst ADR ever. I think his tire was a bit like frazzled and disorganized, and I don't know. And also like, I don't know, it was just like a scrappily put together show. But like the ADR was just, it was always like Tyra's voice sounding super different, just like added in very clearly. That's, watching Top Model is how I learned about ADR, because it was just that bad. There's a famous line in there. It's actually on my favorite episode in season 6, which is my favorite season, where someone wins a prize, and then there's an ADR that Tyra's like, and you're gonna be on Veronica Mars, because they clearly like added to the prize later. It was, if you know that, and you're gonna be on Veronica Mars line, you're a real one, because that's one of those like earworms or just like stems in my head that can get stuck in my head. But yeah, there was ADR like that of Stassi that was it was pretty bad. Not as bad as Tyra, but like close, honestly. Like, there was one part where they added in that like the boys spend some time with Marciano in the Vanderpump Villa in London. And it was just like really shittily put in the audio of that, because probably they weren't sure that they wanted to talk about Vanderpump Villa or reveal that it's in London, because that's kind of like the first we hear about. Actually, no, they put out a teaser, but it was just goofy, and that was like the first time it happened, and I was like, okay, whatever. But then it kept happening. Like, every time they would change topics, they would make Stassi, or they made her like re-record it, and like it would be like it didn't sound seamless. It was just like, I don't know if they didn't give her the best lines, if she didn't read them the best, but it was distracting, and I don't know, bad ADR is always like, it always feels like the production was a little janky if it's happening constantly. And then also between segments, there was like ads for Dunkin' Donuts. It was like they had a bar, but they can't have a bar, I guess, because they're Mormons. Even though they're like, a lot of them are not even that Mormon anymore, not whatever. But so they don't have a bar with alcohol, but they had a bar with Dunkin' whatever coffees, and it was just like cheesy. They would go, Stassi would go, oh, I just need this to be over, and give me a Dunkin' whatever. And it was just like, okay, I get it, sponsors, but like, what? It just added to kind of the cheapness of it. Like, already we have bad ADR, we have like a commercial every segment. It just felt overall kind of cheap. It's like, you have the money to put on a reunion, whatever. Or just do like a little card in between segments that's like, this reunion's brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Move on. It just, it was very like integrated. Also, it was like Christmas themed, which, please excuse my ignorance, I didn't realize Mormons celebrate Christmas. I guess they do. But I thought the reunion was very heavy-handed with even if they do, or they do, I assume. It was just so heavy-handed, like, this is Christmas, whatever. I'm like, this doesn't feel Christmassy at all. We're still far enough away. We don't need to make the reunion Christmas. Like, this is a messy reunion. We don't have to, like, bring Christmas into this. Whatever. And then just overall, like, I think the general comment and consensus, I think, with a lot of the fans is that, like, the reunion was so rushed and so truncated. We didn't really, like, get anything new, get anything resolved. And I never thought I'd say this, but it makes me appreciate the Bravo approach of, like, 3-part reunions, because I'm always like, oh my god, 3 weeks of, you know, if you're watching a Bravo show live, it's like 3 weeks of just reunion, and it just feels crazy. But, like, no, you clearly need that amount of time to actually get to every plot point of the season. And it's like, I see their purpose now. I see why they're important to actually have that much reunion time, because, yeah, like, Bravo reunions cover every plot point of the season. And you see, like, a little recap of it, and you comment on it, and it's just, like, it really covers everything. So, sorry I ever doubted 3-part reunions. I think they're needed. And also, like, they're covering, like, 20-episode seasons sometimes. So, like, yeah, you need 3 parts. And for Mormon Wives, like, come on, they have, like, 8 episodes a season, 10 maybe, this one. Like, that's nothing. You could cover all of the plot points if you just did, like, a little 2-parter or something. It was weird. Or, like, cut the stupid stuff. Like, if we have only 55 minutes to make a reunion, then don't show, like, a stupid montage of every time someone said the word accountability. Like, yeah, haha, it's funny, they overuse that word, sure, but, like, let's not waste time. Maybe make it like an Instagram reel. It's fine if it's a 3-part reunion, fine, put in the goofy montage, but, like, we didn't need that. And yeah, it was just like, we got to pick our battles. If we're doing it short, then, like, keep it to the important stuff, or just extend it. I think, especially this kind of show, and you have it sponsored and everything, like, give us 2-part reunions. And the whole thing going around right now is that they filmed for 12 hours or something like that. There you go. Like, the content is there for 2-3 parts, but for some reason it's like, no, let's cut it to, and it's streaming too. Like, it's so arbitrary how long they are. I don't know. It's confusing. Or make it just like a 2-hour special. Like, who cares? Oh, God. So I think those are my main complaints. I mean, for the weird production choices and the hosting, I think both of those things made it for, like, a very useless reunion, where we just didn't get much. And there's some uncomfortable stuff. Like, this goes for last season too. Like, it gets really dark at times with the topics they cover. I'm probably not gonna get too far into the darker topics, but for season 2, I literally had a live stream prepared to talk about the reunion, and then nothing really happened on it aside from, like, people opening up about their very dark traumas. And I was like, oh my god, I feel, like, uncomfortable even talking about this. Like, it's just depressing that they, like, several of them had to go through that. So I ended up not doing it. Like, I hadn't put it public until I watched the reunion, and then I was like, okay, let's pretend that didn't happen. I didn't schedule that live stream. I was ready to do so, though. But no, it was too dark. This season, this reunion had more to it to, I think, critique and talk about that was not related to people's traumas, even though they did have segments about that. But yeah, like, I won't get too much into that. But I do want to talk about each cast member and their storyline over the season. Kind of rapid fire, just my general thoughts, because it's kind of like, I don't know, I said this in my main video, it's just kind of like, I'm just entertained by the drama, and everyone's like kind of a mess, and also people, like the fandom is very intense, and it's just kind of like, it's too much. Like, I don't care that much about how I feel about them. Like, yeah, I like this person or don't like this person, but like, I don't feel that strongly to like defend them to the death or to like tear them down or anything. Because, I mean, they all love the attention and they love the exposure. It's not the same as like Love is Blind, where I just feel like these are kind of regular people just thrown into like very intense scrutiny for a split second, and then have to go back to regular lives. Like, these people's career is entertaining, so it's different. Like, when I critique them, it feels kind of like, does it matter? Like, they're all just trying to get a storyline and be interesting, and it's just kind of like, what is there to critique? Even like when they act messy, it's good for the show and it's good entertainment. So it's kind of like, it's hard. With Love is Blind, it's like, you know, they're getting married, so it's kind of like, if someone's behaving shitty, it's like, well, I'm going to critique them and be like, this person shouldn't marry them. Shouldn't marry this person, and they're a red flag, whatever. In this case, it's like, this is their career, being messy and crazy, so I don't know, it just feels different, the critiquing or like the commenting on the actual storylines. But I'll give my general thoughts on each person. Don't take it so serious. It's just TV. As I always say, I gotta give the disclaimer. Let me go through, like, the reunion, like, and what we heard about. And as we talk about people, I'll mention, like, their storyline of the season. Okay, so first thing we see, I feel like, it's just like, there's just a lot of men this season. I didn't appreciate that so much. A lot of this dad talk business, which, not my favorite. They really think they're the main characters sometimes, and I'm like, sorry, your background, your filler. The mom talk is who we're here for, and like, the men are the divas of Mormon Wives. Like, backstage, they're already like fighting, like they're like at a 10. Reunion style. Zach and Brett mainly are just having it out, and Brett calls him a dipshit with a munchkin voice, and then Zach calls him like Delulu for the soooo text. I don't know what I can say, or if I can say that on YouTube. That was funny. Like, I have no stake in the game. I hate them both for their own reasons. So I was like, have at it, boys. Entertain me. Like, we're in the Coliseum, yay. But then they're like fighting, and then they're like, let's start over. After the reunion starts, they're like, and they hug it out. And I'm like, okay, whatever, boys. I'm not going to talk about the boys' storylines for the season. I'll get to it if they are relevant for their main cast member counterpart, like their wives. Chase. Okay, Mari Kelly in the chat said, not Chase being the saving grace of the Dunkin' Donuts product placement. Yeah, so they brought in Chase as the bartender at the Dunkin' Donuts corner of the reunion. And Chase is interesting. I mean, no, he's not. He's also like trying to like be a main character, and he's such a side character because he's not even with anyone on the cast. He has exes with like 2.5, if you want to count Taylor as a half-ish. But it was so pointless. And the reunion was just so disorganized. I don't blame Stassi. I blame production because it's like an overall decision, but like they had Chase come in to be the bartender, but then they had him come sit with Taylor, and then they were like, can you tell us about the date? Like the cliffhanger of the season. And then they're like, we didn't think it was a date, but maybe it was a date, but you gotta watch season 4 to find out. And it's like, excuse me, what was the point of this whole moment? So that's that for Chase's storyline. But I did hear, is this like real news or fake news? He like got arrested, right? Or he's in trouble. Oh, sorry, let me Okay, yeah. So he got a DUI, I believe. And cocaine possession. And that was like this week. Oh wait, no. The DUI Wait, the arrest was from earlier this year. I'm sorry, I'm looking at an article. He is gonna rod he gave a quote to Us Weekly. Time to address the elephant in the room. And I don't have a PR person, so we're just going to raw dog this shit. Okay, great. The report you saw yesterday that came out happened on July 4th. And that they're true, he says. Okay, so this surfaced this week, but happened July 4th. I didn't realize that. I thought it happened this week. Yeah, 3 misdemeanors, possession of a controlled substance, driving under the influence, and driving on a suspended or revoked license. Jesus Christ. Bail was $2,500. I don't know. It's messy. It's dangerous. Very dangerous. He says it was short-sighted, selfish, and dangerous. Shout out to the cop. Okay. Okay, well, whatever. He tells the story online if you want to hear about it. But he seems like he gave like an apology. Not an apology, but just like he understands the severity of it. Obviously, it was a humiliating low. Terrible look for me. He did tell Miranda at the time. Unfortunately, I have been a disappointment to Miranda a number of times throughout the time she's known me, both as a partner and now as a co-parent. So that sucks. Okay. So yeah, he's condoning, no, the opposite of condoning it, and like regretful. He's sorry. So he apologized. Whatever. I mean, I don't really care, but that's dangerous and scary. It just kind of adds some lore to him, I guess. Of just okay, the article froze. Yeah, Chase's storyline this season, I didn't buy it at all. I said I wasn't gonna talk about the boys, but whatever. He tried to like come to Layla's party and try to like apologize. That all felt very. I kind of feel like Layla's better friends with Chase than like Macy and Michaela and them. Like in real life, off camera. And they kind of staged the phone call apology to like make it look like he did something. That's my theory. This is gonna have a lot of my own theories that are not based in anything. Okay, that was Chase. So next is Whitney, her only moment. Okay, here. I have little. We can talk about the looks. Oh, and there's chat up there. Hi, chat. Looks were fun. Looks were whatever. There was a lot of beigey going on. Whatever. I mean, I think this is like they filmed this, I believe, like first week of September, around Labor Day. So it's been a minute. This is pre a lot of Dancing with the Stars. But Whitney had like no screen time or attention on her. this reunion, which is like annoying, especially to a lot of fans, because she's like a fan favorite now. And I think people wanted to hear from her and were excited. And we just got this tiny segment where Stassi was like, how did you go from like being here for just business to at the end wanting to facilitate a whole like everyone come together and forgive each other thing? That's all we heard from her. And she just said, oh, after press week I saw we were all divided and it just felt not nice to like be having all these cool experiences and then not be able to like celebrate with each other, like not even be friendly coworkers but like enemy coworkers, and that she's good with everyone now. That's all we got. And then kind of the moment going viral is when they're backstage and Whitney talks about how her and Connor already did it before 8 a.m. And she's like eating a sandwich unbothered while Demi is crying about something or other. So that's one of the viral moments of the reunion. Good for her. I mean, yeah, I think her arc was very clear this season. I think hers is the one I talked about the most in my video because it was interesting how she came in very direct about what she wanted, and I think it's a good strategy. I think audiences love authenticity, and I think it's proven with her. It's polarizing. It did kind of like, I don't know, there's a lot of conspiracies going on about Dancing with the Stars and her elimination right before the finale, because talent-wise, score-wise, she definitely deserved a spot in the finale, but she got eliminated right before. And I don't know, I'm not conspiracy theorizing too much with that elimination. People thought it was a direct correlation from like her appearance on Mormon Wives. People thought like Mormon Wives producer sabotaged her by releasing the season like at that time, that exact week. I think that's a little much. I think it might have played a part. They also had like a controversy where like they tried to do a giveaway on social media, but then they didn't. I couldn't keep up with the giveaway thing, but it was like a controversy. And I was watching Dancing with the Stars like religiously. Like I watched every episode and live and everything. When I don't vote, but Cameron likes to vote. He was voting. I was not voting for Whitney, and I wasn't voting for anybody, but Cameron doesn't watch Mormon Wives, so he wasn't like voting for her. I kind of feel like for the finale, so everyone that made it makes sense to me, like popularity wise, because Dancing with the Stars, there's a voting component, so like it is a popularity contest. And I feel like everyone left definitely outpopulared her and in their own lanes. Aside from like Dylan Efron, that was who people thought should have gone home instead of her, and I agree with that. He should have. But that episode, Zac Efron was there, and he posted on his story to like vote for Dylan. And I think that was the push that like edged Whitney out, because I think she was like next in line, like popularity wise, like least popular, like Dylan, Whitney, then like maybe Elaine, Jordan, Childs, Alex Earl, and Robert. That's who was left. Alex Earl, I guess, has her huge TikTok following. She's a very big influencer. Robert Irwin was like the favorite to win, like America's sweetheart, super wholesome and good. Jordan Childs had, I feel like, the liberal vote, the leftist vote. She had my vote. I would tell Cameron to vote for her. And Elaine had kind of like the like underdog vote, and like it was weird. Like, there was this older actor man that was on the season that I only know from one role. Andy Richter was his name. He randomly got like really big on TikTok during Dancing with Stars the season, and he got past so many rounds, even though he was not very good at the dancing. Like, Elaine was close in age to him, and she was like doing pretty well. Like, well. And his dancing was whatever. TikTok like latched onto this man. I only knew him from the movie that I think I'm the only person that's ever watched it, called New York Minute, and he played kind of like a really very problematic character. Let's leave it at that. Yeah, very problematic. So I didn't have warm fuzzy feelings towards him that everyone else did, but I think it's because I'm the only person that's watched that stupid movie, and it's like a old childhood comfort movie, Mary-Kate and Ashley. But his character is just not appropriate, and it's not really his fault. It's the writer's fault. But it's still, that's all I think about when I see him. But whatever. So his fandom got kind of redirected towards Elaine. That's kind of the politics here on Dancing with Stars. So it feels like they were behind. So I think Whitney was there up next, and Dylan was like right under her, and then Zach bumped him in popularity. And I think that's what happened. So that's my theory. A lot of people are theorizing, oh, he was on Conan for many years. That's what I know him from. Yeah, I mean, I think he's had a very big career that is, like, the Mary-Kate and Ashley movie was never mentioned. Not once, obviously, because I'm sure he wouldn't want that to resurface. But, yeah, he's like a comedian. Very lovable guy, like, on the, like, personality-wise. But the dancing, like, I was just mad so many people I loved went home instead of him when they were, like, doing really well. Like, the Pentatonics guy, the Fifth Harmony, Lauren, she was, like, the first that was, like, the gag of the season. Whatever. Sorry. I'm going into a Dancing with the Stars rabbit hole. But Whitney, I don't think there was, like, direct foul play. I think that the factors just did not align in her favor with the giveaway scandal, the Mormon Wives season coming out, and Zac Efron being there and bumping Dylan up. I think those three things were what, like, pushed her down. And it was unfortunate because she definitely deserved a spot talent-wise in that finale. So, yeah. But people were going really all out with the conspiracies, like, they purposely released it so that she would get voted off. Or, like, and then they were like, I saw theories that then were like, they sabotaged her on purpose to make her more loved. And it just got very convoluted. So that's a little much for me. But good for Whitney. She's on top of the world right now. She got Chicago, which I think was a very natural next step. It's what Ariana did with a very similar skill set. So she's going to be on Broadway. She's winning. I honestly, like, I don't know. I think she is just, like, in a good place because she has transferable skills that a lot of her co-stars don't have. Like, she has her dance background. I assume she can kind of sing or act. If she got cast in the Chicago role as Roxy. Even though it is a stunt cast, it's a great career move for a reality star. And yeah, and the people love her. So, like, literally she's winning. And at the reunion, she's good with everybody. Well, I think everyone was like, oh, she's on top now. Let me be nice to her. I think her success really changed people's attitudes towards her. And they were like, you know, I'll get more success if I latch on a little bit and be nice. That's my thoughts on Whitney. Okay. Let's Excuse me. I can't stop burping. Okay, let's talk about Layla. Palette cleanser. We did find out something new. She is officially dating Mason now. They kiss at the reunion. They bring him out. Also bartending at the Dunkin' bar. Yeah, good for her. I mean, she's over here playing The Summer I Turned Pretty in real life. Like, she's between the two brothers and, you know, went to Chase, dated him, now is dating Mason. It's weird. It's like, what gets me about that is like, this is her love life this season, and yet she's still like kind of a background character a lot of the time because she's just with these crazy co-stars that like somehow her story of like dating two brothers is not interesting like enough to be like a main character, a main storyline. Even though that's very interesting. There's a whole teen show about it. But I loved her, or I like her a lot. She's like openly liberal, at least. And I've always said like I like her and Miranda for that, at least, because, you know, the times we live in, all that. I loved seeing her hair journey this season. That was like her main kind of like independent plot line. And makes sense. I think it's good. She is, you know, she's our cast / producer, multi-hyphenate cast member. She's always like playing producer, but like you gotta do what you gotta do to stay on screen. It's whatever. But yeah, so she's with Mason now. Good for her. The dress, again, beige. I think the dress code was probably, they're like beige, and there's already drama about Jessie saying like she had to change because she had a similar dress to Stassi. I'm like, girl, why do you have drama every day about something? We'll get to her soon. Okay, Michaela. Wait, where is she? Oh, I actually like her dress a lot. I like that it's not beige. I guess, maybe their directive was Christmas. I think it was, because the decor was all Christmas, and they were making a big deal. So I prefer the red direction for Christmas, rather than beige. So Michaela, I don't know, her stories are always depressing, and I don't want to get too into it. It's kind of TMI. Like, I know it's a reality show, and, you know, that's what we're here for, but, like her and her husband just make me uncomfortable, you know, knowing, like, their ages when they got together, you know. This shit is dark. It's kind of dark, and I don't want to get too into it. But, like, I felt bad for her, like, this season, and, like, she talked a lot about intimacy issues, and just, like, her husband is very, like, upset about it, and I don't know, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, that's all we talked about at the reunion from her. I mean, we saw, like, she gave birth in, like, a shower or something. I don't know, there's so many methods to give birth. I'm, like, not the person to ask, but it looked intense, but good for her. Also, like, her daughter's not named Charlotte, and neither is Macy. And I remember there was a whole Reddit thread when she mentioned her daughter's name was Lottie, and the Reddit thread was just tearing her apart. And now it's like, wait, that's not even her name. All this hoopla people made about a name. I don't know. It was just like a joke. I don't know. I don't understand their jokes sometimes. But yeah, she said her health issues returned after she had the baby too, so they're still struggling with the same issues. And she did have like kind of a silver lining moment of like, at least this show made me face these things now, because she has a tendency to repress. So, I mean, that's a good way to look at it. Being on a show, she was like, the fame made me like kind of expedite dealing with this trauma. But yeah, I like the dress. Let's get into Jessie. My God. Messy Jessie. She's been on one the last couple weeks. And this whole season, honestly. Okay, my theory on Jessie. Here we go. Tinfoil hat on. So, season 2, Demi was like her bestie, right? And then they had their falling out. Well, I feel like Jessie is a Gretchen Wieners. And remember, like, so Demi was her Regina George in season 1 and 2. But then she didn't have Regina George anymore, season 3. And so what did Gretchen Wieners do at the end of the movie of Mean Girls? She found a new queen bee to serve. And I think Jessie's new Regina George to serve is Taylor Frankie Paul. And I feel like what Gretchen Wieners does is like she emulates whoever her Regina George is. So like when she was besties with Demi, she would like act like Demi. And like they bullied Jen in season 2 and all that. But now she wants to act like Taylor Frankie Paul and be really messy. And so she's just like blowing up her life, emulating whoever her queen bee is. That's my tinfoil theory on Jessie. She's a Gretchen Wieners and she wants to emulate her Regina. So she saw like, who's the most successful of the group? The next queen bee to serve, Taylor Frankie Paul. And what does Taylor Frankie Paul do? She says whatever she's thinking. She causes drama. She has a very messy love life. She blasts her relationship issues. And she calls out people on TikTok. And now Jessie's doing all those things. I don't know. Just a guess. This theory kind of came from like a Reddit comment. They didn't mention the Gretchen Wieners part, but like they were kind of like, is she kind of emulating Taylor? And she used to emulate Demi. And I was like, oh my God, Gretchen Wieners. So yeah, Jessie, oh my God. So she had a whole thing. She revealed Fruity Pebbles Gate and what it really meant in season 1. Which was just like a wild thing to be revealing. I don't know if I can even say it, but everyone watching this heard about it because it was big news of the day. Yeah, so she exposed, a kink situation between Brett and Demi. And she didn't give a fuck. She just posted it on stories and it was there all day. Like, I went and double checked and I was like, whoa, it's still there. After like the whole day was like in the news cycle. That was crazy. And she's just messy. And this season, she was messy. I mean, she was just like exposing her marriage issues. She had an affair with Marciano. It was wild. I mean, I appreciate the drama, but like, girl, I'm like, chill. You're blowing up your whole life. And her husband is so cringe and like scary. And just how he talked to her on camera was terrifying. For like, you're fucking on camera. Like, you know, what do you do when the camera's off if you talk like that? Like you make me treat you like this and stuff. That was scary. And I mean, they're still trying to work it out. I'm like, girl, really? But I mean, so at the reunion, the new information we got is like, they're trying. He's changed a little bit, kinda, but not totally. I don't know. But they've had setbacks. I don't know. Oh, we got a new phone call between Jesse and Marciano. That was something. I mean, basically Marciano is acting like they did have relations beyond kissing. And Jesse is like, no, we didn't. And Marciano's like, okay, whatever you say, sure. That's kind of the nature of the phone call. And also, like, Marciano's like, are you going to tell everyone that you were going to leave Jordan? And she's like, well, yeah, I'm going to have to now because it's all coming out. And then Jordan gets mad that, like, she was going to leave him for Marciano. But she wasn't. Or she said she wasn't. I don't know, girl. They're a mess, and I don't know why they're still trying. I mean, it just sounds so messy, and it's like, I don't know if you can change. If you're, like, a toxic relationship, like, can you really change? Like, to be completely healthy? If you're this toxic? I don't know. I don't think so. Like, I feel like whenever something gets bad, it's easy to, like, revert to old patterns. I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing with Dakota and Taylor. Like, I would never be like, y'all should be together. No. So, Jessie's interesting because she kind of has the fans still on her side, but she's been really messy this season and off season too, like after on socials. I don't know. Also, like, Demi is kind of getting all the blame for bullying Jen last season too. Then Jen hates her because of that. And the whole, like, Chippendale stuff. Like, Jesse and Demi planned that together. But Demi is still, like, the enemy and Jesse's been forgiven. And I'm whatever. But, like, it's just kind of like she's getting by while still, like, being really messy. She's getting by pretty unscathed for how messy she's being. But the Marciano stuff, we rehashed it so much at the reunion. We rehashed it all season. Like, please. Can we let it go? Can we let it go? Oh, he's so irrelevant. And, like, the allegations are serious. And it's just, like, we just gotta agree to disagree, I guess. I mean, and Stassi said that at the end of it. Because everyone's getting heated. I mean, Taylor, Jen. No, not Taylor. Demi, Jen, Jesse. Like, literally, I could not care less about Marciano. He should have, like, remained in Vanderpump Villa irrelevance. Okay. Next, let's talk about Taylor. And Taylor, I love how always in these seasons, like, everyone else has their little dramas with each other, and Taylor's like, she's got bigger fish to fry because she's with Dakota, who I'm so pissed off about how this whole reunion handled Dakota. And, like, so he demanded all of the women exit the stage for him to come out. It's just like, why does he get that privilege? Like, why is production caving to his little whims of a fucking side character? Like, that pissed me off. That pissed me off. Full calf coffee. You only know the show because of me? That's crazy. I mean, sorry, honestly. I'm so sorry. That's my real response. So the Dakota thing, that pissed me off. Like, can we not just cater to the whims of, like, this man-child who can't, like, be on a show if Taylor's on it? And so they rehash the whole family situation, like the family friend that Dakota was flirting with. The updates are just, like, he wanted to come on to tell his side of the story. And then he told it, and it was, like, the same as we had heard. Aside from, like, he sent a shirtless photo. That's the new information. That's supposed to, like, help his case or something, but it doesn't. So the story was the same. And so he tells his side, and then Stassi even is like, you just said the story. Like, it's the same story. So, like, why are you here? It was so stupid. And Taylor was backstage just heated. I'm just like, producers need to be less desperate. Be less desperate. It's okay if you don't have Dakota at your reunion. We don't give a fuck. We don't want to see him. We believe Taylor's side of the story, and they're both stupidly toxic with each other. They slept together at Stagecoach. We hate it. We hate their relationship. What's him being there doing for any of us? Nothing. And his side of the story wasn't even different. So we didn't get anything. It was pointless. And the only new information we get is that Taylor says her family disowned this family friend. Dakota does say Taylor was sexting him last night. That's, I guess, another piece of information, which sadly I believe it. Sadly, I bet it's true. And they disappoint me every time. I don't know what to do with this woman. He, like, apologizes to her parents, and they're like, we don't believe you. That's tea. I wouldn't either. And then Dakota, oh, he gets mad that, because Taylor actually says she regrets having a child with him. He gets really mad about that. But I'm like, like, this is a pain in the ass, a mess. And her mom is like, who is suffering but ever, the child. So it's like, yeah. And so Taylor's like, yeah, it's a mean thing to say, but also, like, I don't blame her with just the amount of issues they have. Like, it just, sure, it's sad for the child will grow up and, like, see that, I guess. But I don't know. If my mom said that, which she has a right to do, I'd be like, that's tea. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have had kids with my dad. He's useless. You know what I mean? Not to get too personal, but, like, I'd be like, yeah, mom, like, I agree. It's okay. But I don't get that offended about, like, you know, if I was an accident or, like, if someone regrets having me, because I don't know. To me, kids are such a big deal that I'm like, I get it. It's complicated. So he gets really mad, though, that she's, like, implying he's a bad dad, which is, I don't think it's what she is implying. I think she's just implying, like, she regrets bringing a child into this world with such a toxic relationship, which I think is fair. But Dakota storms off, and he runs away. And production's chasing him. I'm like, let him go, please. We've had enough. We saw him enough. And then who else we have left? That was, like, everybody. Oh, that's... I pressed the wrong arrow. Okay, we talked about Whitney. Demi. I don't know. I don't even want to get into her stuff because it's, like, weird and complicated. But, like, I just hate, like, why does she keep comparing her situation to everyone else? Like, and just bringing it up so carelessly, like, if your husband hit you, would you, and no one believed you, how would you feel? Like, shut up. Like, picking on people who have had experiences and saying, like, she did it throughout the season, she did it at the reunion to Macy, And then Jen is like coming for her, and then she's like, you haven't been sexually assaulted. It's like, you should never say that to anybody because you literally never know. And in this group that has grown up in an extreme-ish religion where that shit is prevalent, like, you see how many people have had experiences and traumas and abuse. Like, you can't just be saying that. Can I recap her tea? To me, there wasn't anything new. Her and Brett came in swinging, calling. They were telling Jen she was a liar because they think Jen said that Demi kissed Marciano off camera in Vanderpump Villa. And then Jen, I don't know if she did say that or not. I don't think so. She just kept saying that, like, they were flirty. She was making googly eyes at him. There was maybe a kiss on the cheek. Something like that. I don't recall her saying that. Maybe she did, I don't know. But they're just telling Jen, like, they just want her to admit, like, she didn't see a kiss off camera. And she says that, yeah, she didn't. But they're just fighting. Her, Jen, Brett, and Zach. And Brett does this, like, fake-ass apology to Miranda. Because he called her white trash in the season. And Miranda's such a queen. We love Miranda. Unproblematic queen. This picture, homophobic. Unfortunate for Miranda. It's the only picture that exists of Miranda that doesn't look good. But she's stunned. Love Miranda. She's so chill. She's very, very good at accepting the apology, but not necessarily. She's like, the timing is suspicious, but she says it in a very, like, classy way. Like, you could have apologized back when it happened, off camera. She's like, it's kind of weird it's happening on camera. But she says it in a way that doesn't seem like attacking, you know. But yeah, Brett definitely called her white trash because I feel like he didn't think the cameras could pick up that audio because he was, like, on the phone. And I didn't believe the apology. I think he was just like, oh no, I'm gonna get hate. And, like, Miranda's, like, not attacking Demi. She's literally her friend. She was, like, nice to her all season. So that was dumb. Or I didn't buy it. I didn't find it sincere. Brett, and I do think Brett is behind. Let's go back to Demi. Because Miranda didn't really have a storyline. She's just a chill queen lover. Demi, I do think Brett is behind a lot of Demi. Because Brett was almost on The Bachelor. He's been around the showbiz world. I think he's something in sports. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe a player or something. So he's just been around, like, the entertainment, and he's old. So I do feel like he's the one, like, strategizing her moves and trying to, I don't know, but, like, it's backfiring. It's bad. It's horrible. Like, it's really bad for her. She's like, I don't think she has any fans left right now, or like anyone on her side, just because she's been so, the attacking and, like, comparing her thing, like, it's just, you can't just be bringing up people's abuse, like, willy-nilly and be like, you know, you got hit and you, this, like, that's so not appropriate. And yeah, the Marciano stuff, I don't know. I'm over the Marciano stuff. And they're going to all agree to disagree because we're past it. And then Jen. Jen is an interesting one. I think she's the last one we haven't talked about. Oh, Macy. Well, I guess I'll get to her, but she did not have any. Macy's such a, like, supporting character, not a main character. So Jen is interesting. Jen Affleck. She's kind of like one of the breakout stars of this franchise in general. I think because she was really vulnerable in season 1 and 2, that I think people felt for her, just with like having such a controlling husband. Her reaction to her pregnancy was really heartbreaking. So I think, because I mentioned in my video that she, like Taylor, Frankie Paul, Whitney, and Jen were kind of the breakout stars because they show authenticity, the most authenticity, it feels like. And I think I got a comment from somebody, I'm not sure who, but that was like, Jen is not authentic, she's so fake and all this stuff. And I was thinking about it, like, yeah, she's not at the level of Taylor and Whitney, who are, you know, much bigger stars because they're much more authentic, I think, than Jen. But I do think she showed so much vulnerability season 1 and 2. I don't think by choice necessarily, just by like, or I don't know, just like having a shitty husband, honestly, that everyone hated, that I think people rooted for her. Also, she's like Latina. I don't know if that made people, I mean, she shared a story of like about her mom and stuff. Whatever. Also, the Affleck thing was like really cringy, but people were like, it's funny. I don't know. I think she was just kind of distinct and vulnerable, and that was enough to like she gets like commercials and stuff, is what I mean by like breakout star. She's gotten kind of more opportunities than everyone aside from Whitney and Taylor. She got Dancing with the Stars. But yeah, I don't think she's like as authentic as Whitney and Taylor, but she has a vulnerability. And I do think, so people are very polarized on her because on Dancing with the Stars, she got eliminated, and in interview, she was not rooting for Whitney. Very obviously. She was like, they were like, who are you rooting for to win? And she'd be like, Robert Irwin, whoever. And so people are, because Whitney is the fan favorite, people are really mad at Jen, I think. Which makes sense. I think Jen's biggest flaws are that she's catty, like a lot of them, and she's immature. She's very young, and her, Michaela, and Layla are the young ones of this cast, and especially for her and Michaela, it shows. They're both very immature, and just like very judgy, and like talk shit behind someone's back, like, oh my god, can you believe she would do that? Like, she's also kind of like one of the more religious ones, I feel like. I don't know, I can't keep up with like how Mormon or not they are, but I feel like she's the type that's like, did you see she's being a slut or something, like behind someone's back, stuff like that. Like, I think Jen is like that, but I think it comes from just like immaturity. She's so young. And Michaela too. Michaela acts like she's living by high school rules, a lot of the time, like very mean girl behavior, like towards Whitney. She reminds me a lot of like mean girls in high school. And I think Layla's the one who's young, she's probably the youngest and the most mature, because I think because she got divorced, I think that helped her, or that made her grow up younger. She got married and divorced so young. And also, like, her still being single, living her life, and also her being less ingrained in the Mormon church. She, like, converted later in life and then left the church. So, like, I don't feel it's as ingrained as some of the others. I think all those things, especially being single now, too, like, it feels like Layla speaks with her own voice and her own motivations, while Jen and Michaela, I don't know, they have husbands they're navigating and stuff, and they just haven't been through as much, like, big life changes the way Layla has. But yeah, so I don't know, I just want to talk about Jen's, like, authenticity and, like, what I meant by that in my video, because that's not to mean, like, oh, she's never fake, because I think she is that type to be like, talking behind someone's back and stuff. But I think it's more like showing her life. I feel like she's shown some like dark shit that's uncomfortable. I don't think it's that conscious necessarily. It's just like she's on a show and she's young. Was there anyone left? Oh yeah, Macy. She didn't have much of a storyline this season. She's more of a support, and I appreciate she's kind of the one that's most like judgmental of the men, which I appreciate. Like she questions them, and like, I mean, I don't get it, because I assume she's kind of conservative. It's kind of unclear, but whatever. But she's very like, let's smash the patriarchy. Usually she's talking about that. But she had her baby. We saw that too. Yeah. I don't think she had like no reunion time aside from like commenting on other people, or like Demi being like, what if no one believed you? And stuff like that. She's always more of like a receiver and a reactor than like she's making her own storylines. I think that's everybody. I don't know. I probably missed some things, but also nothing happened at the reunion. And this is like a broken record, because Love is Blind is the same way. Like, reunions are kind of nothing. Not much. So Bravo has it on lock, and they know what they're doing with their reunions. I shit on Bravo a lot when I talked about how they produced their season on Hulu, their show, their Mormon Wives show. But the reunions, no one's beating Bravo. Not anytime soon. Not even like Traitors. Which Traitors is random, because it's like, or it's just weird, like half of them are like, it's a game, like who cares? And half of them are like, oh my god, I am offended. Which it's usually the housewives and stuff. Like the Bravo people are like, how dare you kill me in the castle? And it's like, girl, it's the game. I mean, sure, but also all the people from like Survivor are like, what are you talking about? Like, whatever. I just sometimes watching Mormon Wives, I feel like this guy. Do y'all know who this guy is? I don't know who this guy is, but he's from the Vanderpump Rules reboot that premiered this past week, which is, I mean, it was all right. Like, it wasn't like the least entertaining thing I've ever seen. I enjoyed watching, like, seeing the setting of Sir, the restaurant, which is where Vanderpump Rules started. It was about coworkers at a restaurant. At least a Vanderpump's restaurant. That's why it's called Vanderpump Rules. And this new season, they just are rebooting it with a new cast. And it's like a big deal, big shakeup. And it's just like, it's hard, because it's kind of like Vanderpump Villa, where it's like, you know, all the people there are kind of like influencer vibes and like pretending like they work there, it feels like. It's kind of hard. It's hard. The show, the first 11 seasons were so iconic. It's you're never going to like get that back. So it was just a bizarre choice from Bravo to like start a season 12 with just a new cast. It should have been like a new show, like a spin-off, like Sir Rules or something, whatever, a different show that's like the same concept, but like just a new name, a refresh. I don't know, whatever. But the breakout star was just this random man that was like in the background of a scene watching these like messy, clout chasey coworkers just like be drunk and like yelling at each other. And this guy was just there. So it's just fun. It's just funny. And yeah, I feel like this man sometimes watching the Mormon Wives, like, these girls are so young and so crazy. This is me. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Mormon Wives reunion season 3, or you know, where their storylines landed. So many of these reunion moments and segments ended with, well, you're gonna have to see season 4 to find out, which season 2's reunion was the same way. It was like, well, you gotta watch season 3, and it's like, well, obviously we're gonna watch season 3 and 4. We're here, aren't we? But what is the point of this reunion then if you're gonna tell us to watch season 4? Like, apparently they went to Vanderpump Villa, so yeah, that was part of the ADR I talked about. But they went to Vanderpump Villa in London, and the boys went. And there's also like a picture of Dakota hanging out with Marciano. Not at London, not in Vanderpump Villa, in Vegas. It's a mess, and all these people are just like in the same little sphere and just want fame and follow. I don't know. It's stupid. Like, I'll be seated, but you know, it's stupid. It all is, isn't it? But yeah, let me know your thoughts on just like storylines, predictions for season 4. I don't really know. This cast is crazy. I guess I'll be watching The Bachelorette all of a sudden. That's probably early next year, huh? And season 4 also comes out early next year. They've mentioned that. It looks like they're trying to do 2 seasons per year, which is fine, but also, like, they're always, like, rolling at these reunions, so it's kind of like, I don't know. We'll see. I'll be here, I guess. I mean, I don't know if I'll be covering it, but I'll be here. And yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully reaching 5,000 subscribers soon. Subscribe if you haven't already. That really would help me out. I'll try to do, I guess, a little fun 5,000 subscriber video. I mean, I don't know. I was thinking I'm just gonna make like a little ranking video. I'm gonna rank all the celebrities I saw in New York City. I went on a trip to New York City in November, and I saw a lot of celebrities. That was like my goal for the trip, kind of like loosely, as well as seeing the pretty autumn leaves on the trees, because we don't have that in Texas. But I was like, I want to see celebrities, and I just think it'd be like a fun bonus little style video of just like all the celebrities, ranking them. I don't know, but maybe it's just for me, but that'll be my little 5,000 moment. And I'm also feeling kind of inspired about The Summer I Turned Pretty, and like a video about that, and just like kind of more like in defense of it, honestly, rather than critiquing it, which is, back in 2021, I heavily critiqued season 1 of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I skipped season 2. I didn't even watch it because I didn't like it. And then this year, season 3 came out. It was the final season. It was a whole thing. And it kind of won me back over. And so, I don't know. I'm feeling called to that right now. But I don't have anything solid planned, so I just wanted to jump on here and talk about this reunion. It's a chop. It's a flop. You know. I want to talk about why and stuff. And also, like, just touch on the storylines that I didn't touch on in my video. So, yeah. Put your thoughts below. It's not that serious. It's just TV. And this is their job. Like, they're into it. They I mean, or they're not. But, like, you know, they thrive off of the engagement and the conversation, the discourse, all that. So you don't have to, like, go to bat for these people or, like, tear them down. It's okay. They're entertaining. That's my thought. There's like a car alarm going off. Oh, and also, sorry I catfished in the thumbnail. I don't look as cute. I just reused thumbnail from my video. My live streams are more low-key, more cozy. I hope you're staying cozy this winter. And yeah, please like this video, subscribe, follow me on socials to stay informed about new videos and stuff, or just more like my life. And yeah, hope you have a good weekend. Oh my god, thank god it's Friday. TGIF. It's been a long week, huh? I keep forgetting what day it is. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.